Meet Joe. Joe's a 32-year-old man whom every time he's attracted to a woman, that woman is either not interested or she goes out on one date with him and then afterwards she just either flakes, ghosts on him, or just stops responding to his messages or makes excuses about meeting up. And every single girl that he really likes doesn't seem to like him back. He's been facing this problem ever since childhood, ever since middle school, since high school, and nothing seemed to change. Recently, one of the girls who he took out on one date, and he happened to get lucky by taking her out on a date, rejected him after the date. And then after the date, she said, "Hey, thanks for everything, but I don't see this going anywhere." And so Joe became depressed, and then he didn't know what to do with his life. And then he just lashed out on women, calling all women this, all women that. Women are only attracted to a man's money. All women care about as a man with big muscles and good looks, and you have to look like Brad Pitt to attract women, and all these negative things to say. We come back and visit Joe 10 years later, and he's in exactly the same place that he was before. In fact, he's 10 years older, and he's in worse shape, and he's still complaining about the same things that he complained about back then, and he's hanging out with the same types of people with the same type of mentality. Joe's life is never going to change. Now, on the other hand, meet Jim. Right now, Jim is a 28-year-old man. Jim recently failed at attracting one of the women he really liked, and although that hurt him for a few days, he started focusing inward and seeing what he could change about his approach, what he could change about himself. And he was so tired of always wanting to become more attractive, more muscular, more charismatic with women, more this, more that, being able to keep a woman around and just be more successful in his life in general, not just with women. Until finally, one day he decided it was time. Now's the time for me to change. Now's the time for me to fully do things differently and fully work on myself to become that man. From now on, most of the actions I take in my life are going to take me a little bit closer to that man. Now, Jim had a commitment. He was laser focused on that image of himself that he saw in just 6 to 12 months, knowing that he's going to be very well on his track to become like the man that he wants. So Jim made a lot of adjustments in his life. He changed his appearance. He built some muscle. He practiced cold approach with women. He became more charismatic. He became more responsible in his life. He stacked up more money to the point where he became a totally different new man just 9 months later. And 9 months later, he was actually consistently dating the woman of his dreams. And just a year after that, they got engaged. And a year after that, they got married. Him and his wife lived happily ever after, and more importantly than that, he became the kind of person that he always wanted to become because he had a vision and he stuck to it. Now, as you can see, there's a drastic difference between Joe and Jim. Joe was the type of guy who had one type of thinking. He didn't change that type of thinking, and because he didn't, he kept getting the same results over and over and over again with women. However, Jim, because he was so frustrated, he channeled his frustration in a very positive way, which ultimately got him the results he wanted with women, and more importantly than just with women, in his life in general. He became a better person overall. You see, man, here is the deal and here is the key. What you really need to do if you want to make drastic changes in your life is first change your mindset. And here's exactly what I mean by this. This isn't some hocus pocus. This isn't some woo-woo. This isn't some magic horse shit that I'm going to tell you. If you just say this, it's going to change your life. If you watch this one video, it's going to change your life. No. But when you first have an idea of the man you want to be, that's the step number one. You have that idea planted so deeply in your mind of the man that you want to be, and you start listing the qualities of this man who you want to become, and then you develop a game plan to become that man. I guarantee you in just 6 to 12 months time, you will become that man. Because here's why. Right now, the old program is running you, and because the old program is running you subconsciously, which your subconscious mind controls 90% of your behaviors, subconsciously, you're controlled by that old program, and that old program is not giving you the results you want. Think about it this way. You are where you are today, right now, and you're probably watching this video right now because you don't like the results that you're getting. And also listen to this, which is ironic. Your best thinking has got you here. It's where you are right now in life. Your best thinking has gotten you here. So obviously there's a few things we need to change up, man. So that being said, step number one, focus on the man that you want to become, list down his qualities, and start reading them right when you wake up and right before you go to sleep. I know this sounds like some horse shit to you, but I promise you it's going to work because those are the times where your subconscious mind is most influenced. List all the things about that man that you want, even if that has nothing to do with who you are today. He's this, he's charming, he's attractive, he's charismatic, he's in good shape. People love talking to him, people love listening to him, all these things. And say them in the present tense that that's who you are. And then just after a couple days, you're gonna start seeing yourself as this man, right? You're gonna start seeing yourself as this man. And then I want you to decide from that point forward, which is step number 2, that this is the type of man you are today. From now on, for the rest of your life, the man that you were in the past, pick that man up, that old version, and throw it in the trash, and the new version of yourself is this man. And start picturing yourself as this man. Now here's what's so powerful about this method. When you have that image of who you are, you're automatically gonna start acting in ways consistent with that belief without having to watch a YouTube video on what to text, without having to watch a YouTube video on what to say, without having to fake it till you make it or any of this stuff. But you're gonna start programming your mind, and because it's like you updated the software, because you upgraded the new software, the old patterns of behavior are not compatible with that software. But the new patterns of behavior automatically, without even me telling you what to say, what to do, how to dress, that's what's gonna be compatible with the new software. So because you see yourself as this person, that's now step number 2, you're going to start acting in ways consistent with that belief. For example, if in the past, if a woman left you on red, or she flaked on you, or she ghosted you, in the past, you got all butthurt, you got upset, you wanted to say, fuck this girl, blah, 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 I'm not gonna talk to her anymore, let me just block her. Right now, instead, what you say is, that's fine. A self-respecting man is not going to chase after a woman who is ignoring him and who's leaving him on red. That's fine. I'm gonna focus on me right now. And because that's a new software, you're gonna start doing things like that. You're immediately, probably, gonna start taking care of your haircut, your beard, all these things, because that's part of the new software, not the old software. You're immediately gonna put on some muscle or get in better shape. At least you don't have to have muscles like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, but you definitely need to be in physical shape, in decent physical shape. You're gonna start saying no more to friends that bring you down or friends whose goals are not aligned with yours. And you're gonna start looking more for people who are on the same path in life as you. And so you're just going to see when you do these things consistently, because again, remember the software that's running everything, the software is telling you what to do and what to say, you're automatically becoming like that man and you're becoming a new person. Now here's step number 3 that's challenging. When you start becoming like this man, you're gonna notice that the people in your immediate environment, whether it's your family, whether it's your brothers and sisters, whether it's your very close friends, whether it's the people you go to school with, if you're still in school or in college, they're gonna pick up on that behavior. And they're gonna try to kind of make fun of you because they don't see you as this new person that you're trying to be. They still see you in the same old light, and that's fine. Even if they do, just spend less time with them and more time on yourself. And then even eventually when they see that you're becoming this more successful person, they're gonna know that you're not the type of person who just likes to mess around. No, you're actually about that life. You're that guy. You are that guy, the guy who is successful, the guy who's attractive, the guy who's charismatic, the guy who's good with women, the guy who's this, the guy who's that, the guy who's this, the guy who's that, the guy who's focusing on his plan, who has a mission in his life, and he's following it relentlessly until he achieves what he wants. So I promise you, man, the step number 3, it is kind of challenging, but it's only temporary. Just see it as a noise trying to distract you. See it as just a bunch of people in a video game that are trying to distract you from the main mission, but just take a detour and start spending less time with them than you were before. I know it sounds kind of selfish, but sometimes in life you have to put yourself first and prioritize yourself so you can become better, so you can give back to others in the better way than you were before. Because remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And then there's step number 4, where you start seeing changes in other people around you to the positive. People start to respect you more. People start taking your word more seriously. People start listening to you more. Women start gravitating more to you. You start having more money in the bank. You start sounding more confident. You start looking more confident. You start acting more confident. And because you're starting to feel these things which weren't familiar to you in the past, that's gonna kind of cause you to doubt yourself for a moment. But then in the back of your mind, you remember that there's new software, that the old software, we crumbled it up and we tossed it in the garbage. So now that the new software is running you, you're like, I'm not surprised. This is exactly what I envisioned because I remember the goals and the traits I had in my mind of that successful person. I'm gonna be exactly like that person. And as long as you stay faithful to this vision and to that guy up here, with all the positive traits that you wanted and all the positive traits that you saw yourself as in the future, as long as you stay faithful to it, man, I promise you, you are going to achieve it. And here's what I mean by staying faithful. I mean acting like that guy and becoming that guy, because remember, it's a new software, regardless of how you feel, because there's gonna be many days where you don't feel like putting in the work to become that man. You're not gonna wanna go to the gym sometimes, or actually many times. You're not going to want to take that haircut and go that extra mile to look better. You're not gonna wanna take your lazy ass out of bed and go shopping for new clothes. You're not gonna wanna get a new pair of sunglasses. You're not gonna wanna get a new watch. Whatever it is that's gonna require effort. The bottom line is it's gonna require effort. But when you stay faithful to your mission and treat your mission like it's a really fucking serious goal, you're not playing around, you're not joking around, this is serious, this is life-changing, and you see yourself as that man, I guarantee you, man, within 6 to 12 months, you're going to be a completely different man. You're going to start seeing results in your life, and you're going to be way more like Jim. You're just going to be like another Jim, another version of Jim. Just imagine that. In just 6 to 12 months, you can meet your dream girl right now, no matter where you are right now in life, because you stacked up some money, you've done this, you've added muscle, you've added charisma, you're bringing value to people's lives, and therefore they're bringing value to yours. The old version of Jim, or Joe, whoever you're talking about, none of them bring much value to people's lives, and that's why they're mediocre. They don't want to change. Their mindset was very limiting. They keep getting the same results in their life, and they keep doing the same things, yet expecting a different result. Just like Albert Einstein says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. However, Jim, when he changed the software in his mind, in just a period of 9 months, he was able to better himself in every way. He was able to attract a woman, and he was able to make her his girlfriend because she liked him so much, to the point where she wanted to feel chosen by him to become his girlfriend. Now notice in this video, I didn't mention any tactics. I didn't mention what to say if she does this, what to do if she says this. If a woman looks at you this way, you look at her that way. If a woman does this, do that. If a woman texts you on Instagram, say this. If this is how you, although those videos, yes, they can be really effective because they're good strategies, and I even use them sometimes myself. What's even more important than that is changing yourself. Not changing yourself on the surface, changing yourself from the core. Becoming that man, not just acting like that man. No, it may seem like you're acting at first to the people around you, but truthfully, you're acting, quote unquote, differently because of the software change up here. You change your software, you see yourself as a different person. You're faithful to that vision, even when during the hard days, even when it's very tough. You're becoming that person slowly. In just a couple months, you're gonna notice some changes, and you can make some changes even immediately with the clothing, the style, all these things. But in a few months, you're gonna start seeing the changes. In 6 to 12 months is when you really change at the core. So the bottom line is, man, change the software, AKA your mindset. Write those things down that you want in your life. Take this really seriously. I'm not joking here. It really will change your life in every way, shape, or form. Way more than these videos telling you what to say, what not to say. You have to ignore her. You have to do this. No, cut that shit out. This is 10 times more important. Focus more on this and focus less on the bad results you got from the past. Just keep your mind on the goal. Keep your eyes on the prize. And I swear to you, man, your life is going to change drastically. Just watch for yourself.